Alright, we're gonna play a puzzle game. Gotta help this little Baconator find his acorns. This is actually a request somebody asked me to find out if it's possible to beat the game. It's a little bit like Goof Troop, if you've ever played that for the Super Nintendo. I personally don't like browser games too much, and this one's biggest flaw is actually the walk cycle. Because sometimes when you hit the arrow keys, it's still trying to run, and you might hit the wrong one and knock one of the acorns somewhere where you can't move it around anymore. But whatever. The first levels are pretty simple, and I figured since nobody else made any tutorials or walkthroughs about this, may as well. So, at first I got through the first levels right away. I got to about, I think, level 10 or 11 right away without any trouble. But after that, it did take me a while to beat especially the last one, but not so much the other ones. The other ones are pretty easy. And I did find a couple videos, but I think they were just somebody messing around with the game. It wasn't all the levels at all. I think it was missing a couple. I can't remember, I just watched them play for a little bit and it got kind of annoying to watch. There were a couple times where I got stuck, and it's kind of messed up because you have to memorize everything. There's no real way you can play this game at certain times, but it's kind of nice to actually beat a few of these levels. There was some thought put into the game. I'm not going to say that I highly recommend this too much, because once you beat the game, that's it. There's not a whole lot to do after that. But it's worth trying out, especially if you like these stupid kind of games. But it was something to do to pass the time. I just really don't like the concept of it either. It's just a kid's game, I guess. But some of these levels are a little bit too easy, and I can understand why somebody would just look at this and think it sucked. But it has a little bit of charm to it, especially if you're a kid. But I don't know. This is around the time where it could start to get tough, but it's not hard at all. At least it wasn't hard for me. Even though I'm sitting there hesitating, but no, once you figure it out, it just feels like the same sequence over and over again. But it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. I had to turn off the sound, that's why I have a different sound playing in here too. And this is around the time where I started to worry if I was gonna pass the level or not, because I didn't want to sit around just doing nothing the entire time. I kind of wanted to rush through everything. Not so much as a speed run or anything like that, just wanted to get it over with. But as you can tell, I was having slight trouble doing it because I just didn't want to screw up. But it's not too bad. This is around the time where I was starting to hesitate, because you have to move them around specifically in certain areas. But it's actually one of those games where you can pick it up really quickly. The only thing that I didn't really like about this game was actually all the ads that were in it. That's the only time I edited this thing. So there were times where it says that the level's complete, and then a commercial would turn on. So it may look a little bit edited, but all I did was cut those parts out. I didn't really do anything else to it. It's all pretty straightforward. This was one of the harder levels that I had to deal with. This one probably took me about, I would say, an hour. And just the having to sit around and knowing which move to make next, or doing trial and error, kind of pissed me off. So there were times I lost my patience, and I don't think that you necessarily have to do all this stuff in a specific order, because I know that I've done it different ways, and I'm pretty sure it doesn't have to be perfect. It's just a matter of taking your time with it. So this was a pretty easy one to finish. This was the hardest one. This is the final level here. I must have spent a lot longer time than I expected. I'm not gonna lie. And eventually I just started moving around and got lucky. Because as soon as I noticed that the two on the right, when you put them in a certain sequence like that, you can actually just keep going, and it becomes a lot quicker. It's all about not blocking your path. The other levels you could just screw up all the time. This one seems really specific, but once you get it, it's not too bad. But as you can tell, I'm probably repeating the same cycle quite a few times instead of doing it as fast as other people can do it. It was kind of frustrating too, I'm not gonna lie. But once you get it down, it's pretty easy. And this is when I got excited, because I figured, oh shit, it is possible to beat this stupid one. But that's pretty much the conclusion of this one. It wasn't too bad of a game, but I'm not a big fan of browser games, like I said. But yeah, it's possible to beat this damn thing. And just like that, he found his acorns. And now while he sleeps, we can have bacon. And that's the end of the game. So have fun. Yeah, I'm not gonna play this shit again.